Good morning, afternoon, evening, or night time, wherever and whenever you may be watching. Thanks for clicking and joining me today to talk about the wonderful house of Escentric Molecules. I've been working my way through the discovery set, if you've watched the last few videos, and in this video, we've managed to reach Escentric Molecules 04. If you've watched the previous videos, or if you know a little bit about these fragrances, you'll know that they are very interesting. The way that it works is you've got the molecule fragrance, which is one synthetic note, and then the eccentric version, which is focused around that same synthetic note, but it's got other notes backing it up, making it a bit more mass appealing, a bit more generic, a bit more familiar, whatever you may want to call it. But let's talk about Escentric Molecules 04. As with the other videos, I'm going to start with the molecule fragrance, and I know that Molecule 04, the note that it's going for is javanol, which is a synthetic substitute for sandalwood. Now, I know this is quite a few people's favourite, and I'm so curious to how I find it, because sandalwood for me sometimes is so overpowering and so scratchy on my nose that I like the smell, I like to smell it on other people, but for me it's just too much. So let's give it a go. This is great. This is really, really great. It's on the immediate spray, on the immediate first impression, it's not overpowering. Maybe I'm struggling to smell it a little bit already. Like the very first spray, there was just a really nice scent from it. This is curious. This falls more in line with Escentric Molecules 1 and 2, where there was just an airiness about them where it was quite hard to smell. So odd. The thing that I was most worried about isn't happening though. I talked about it being scratchy and a bit irritating to my nose. Examples of that are Santal 33 by Le Labo and Scent Number 1 by Zara. It's just a powerful smell to me. It is there. I can smell that same scent profile, but it's just much calmer and it's much more subdued. Possibly what will happen is, as the day goes on, I'll get whiffs of it throughout the day, just in the air. I'm struggling to smell it on the immediate though, which is curious. That could work out in its favor, because I think if I could smell it strongly, I would be like, no, it's too sharp and too rough around the edges. Very interesting. And then let's get on to Escentric 04. I'll have the notes on the video because, as I said, the Escentric version focuses around that javanol note, but it should have other notes backing it up. It's more, I was going to say it's more smellable. It's more obvious. It's more fragrant in that sense. I don't know about this. There's something going on which is giving me like barnyard kind of smell, which sometimes can be associated with oud, other times it can be associated with hay. But I don't know if these fragrances are that experimental to include hay. So I doubt. What am I smelling? That's so interesting. Maybe there's something orange going on. Maybe. Out of all the ones I've smelled so far, this is the one that is most unusual, the most unique. I'm very curious to look through the notes of this, but as I said, this is just mainly a first impression video comparing Molecule and Escentric. So what started off as kind of like a hay / barnyard sort of thing is now going into a more orange / orange peel, like the zest of a fruit, and almost borderline going into a cocktail kind of thing, like something like maybe an Aperol Spritz or something like that. Very curious from Escentric 04. So guys and gals, to summarize Escentric Molecules 04, the molecule is now starting to come through a little bit more. It is now starting to remind me a lot of things like Santal 33, but it's definitely not as harsh. This is something that my nose seems to be able to cope with, which I'm enjoying. The Escentric, so interesting. Can't wait to read the note breakdown on this. Orange peel, Aperol Spritz cocktail, something like this. Out of all the Escentric Molecules I've tried so far, Escentric 04 is the most interesting. I'm not saying it's my favourite, don't get ahead of yourselves, but it's the most curious one. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Hopefully we'll have Escentric Molecules 05 coming soon. Peace.